Well, everybody, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about overseas foreign politics in this segment, and it's going to be a pretty serious topic. I haven't heard anybody talk about it at all in my community, but I heard about this, and I immediately knew I needed to talk about it, and for a variety of reasons. A lot of it is how historical this event is, and a lot of it has to do with the political implications of it. But recently, Sweden was the victim of the largest mass shooting in its entire country's history. And it was, of course, at a school. And it shouldn't surprise you, but the shooter, based on what we know about him, seems to have been a Nazi. Swedish school shooter shouted, quote, "You should go away from Europe," between firing shots. New footage appears to show the moment Rickard Anderson carried out his rampage and may offer clues to a motive. The gunman who killed 10 people... By the way, can I just show you guys a picture of the dude? Because I don't think I even need to roast him. He looks like if the YouTuber I'm Alex was even more of a creep. You guys see it, right? I'm not the only one. Where's an image of him? What the fuck? Is the internet, like, scrubbed of pictures of the guy? What the fuck? Okay, I'm Alex is the guy with the douche stash on the right here. You guys see it, right? I can't be the only one. I can't be the only one. I can't be the only one. This guy. I can't be the only one. Wait, you're right? Are you guys starting to see it? This is not a great picture of him to make this point, but yeah. Anyway, that said, massive fucking creep, dude. Massive creep. No one should be surprised that dude is like some inbred Nazi mass shooter. But let's go ahead and learn what his deal is. The gunman, who killed 10 people in an attack on a school in Sweden, shouted, "You should go away from Europe," between firing shots at his victims. Video analysis shows. Of course he fucking recorded it. Footage emerged on Wednesday night from what is believed to be the moment Rickard Anderson, 35 years old, carried out his rampage that killed adults attending classes. Okay, so was it a college? The video is being investigated by police and may offer clues to a motive. The school offers Swedish classes for immigrants and programs for people with learning disabilities. Okay, yep. Alright. Yep. A school that teaches Swedish classes to immigrants and has programs for people with disabilities. Obviously a Nazi would love to get some eugenics and ethnic cleansing done on the same day in the same place with the same massacre. Oh my god. Why would you put those two groups in the same place that's just calling for people like this to come shoot it up? Like, what the fuck? Like, what? Jesus. God damn. This is sick? Yeah, it is very fucking sick. But, like, dude, these Nazis have been doing this more and more lately. They're getting empowered by the state of politics. I think the biggest thing, the biggest moment that I think changed a lot of things was Charlottesville. I think when all those Nazis carried those tiki torches and actually had the balls to go out there unmasked and yell blood and soil, dude, that was a big... The history books are going to talk about that protest and that moment as a pivotal moment in, the historical change of America, the history of America. It's going to be a very pivotal moment, the start of a chapter in America's story. And that kind of spiderwebbed out we had and it's global too, right? It's spiderwebbed out to even more far-right crazies taking up arms against innocent people. I remember one of the first mass killings I ever covered, because that's a thing I have to say on my channel, was when that one little douchebag cuck boy shot up the mosque in Christchurch, New Zealand, and live streamed it on Facebook, and then to ensure its virality, started the killing by saying subscribe to PewDiePie to the live stream. This was like a big thing in 2019. It might have been late 2018, but I think it was early 2019, if not. And since then, it's just been attack after attack after attack, and with these people always yelling their motives as they kill, or even writing some 4chan manifesto to explain why they're committing violence. And it's just getting more common, and these people are only getting more empowered with each successive one. They name all the previous mass shooters in all their manifestos. So like the guy who did the Christchurch shooting is mentioned in every Nazi shooter manifesto now. He was a massive inspiration. He's like the new Elliot Rodger for a lot of these people. And so because of that, we're just going to continue to see issues like this. I'm glad to say Sweden has always, at least in the terms of modern history, had a pretty strong leash on gun ownership. And so they're actually making their gun laws more strict. And I'm pretty fine with it, right? Like, they don't have, like, guns baked into their culture the same way America does. Seems like banning guns actually has a pretty positive impact on most European countries' ability to stem gun violence. Not as much in America, but if it works, then it works. So I'm glad that Sweden is actually taking actions to reduce the amount of future violence like this that is likely to happen. The video is being investigated by police. Oh yeah, we already read that one. Witness reports suggested that the gunman deliberately spared some people and targeted others, although his reasons for doing so remain unclear. Police said they had no evidence yet that the attack, the largest mass shooting in Sweden's history, was, quote, ideological. Police say they have no evidence that it was ideological, but the new video was obtained and analyzed by Swedish channel TV4 and appears to capture the voice of an unknown person shouting in Swedish, "You should go away from Europe," in between the shots fired. Anderson, who died at the scene from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound because he was a pussy-ass little bitch, had distanced himself from family, friends in recent years. Isolated himself, got into a cult, got super into hate. Yeah, it sounds about right. Relatives said as more details about him began to emerge. Police raided his one-bedroom home in Örebro on Wednesday following the shooting at campus Ryberska, I think I got it, on the outskirts of the city. TV4 television reported, is there a fucking mosquito in my room right now? I'm gonna crash out if a mosquito got in. God damn it. I had the window open for like 5 fucking minutes, dude. Anyway. Örebro Police Chief Roberto Aide Forrest confirmed on Wednesday that evidence suggests the gunman was already dead when officers arrived at the scene, having turned his hunting rifle on himself. Of course, they're always cowards. A lot of these people end up shooting themselves before the cops can get there, but it's almost funnier and more cowardly when they don't kill themselves before the cops arrive to put them down, because then you get these videos where they, like, curl up into a ball and the cops just start, like, kicking the shit out of the shooter. If not, if the shooter, like, surrenders and is too pussy to kill themselves, then you get these videos, and there's a good few examples of this where the cops just, like, kick the shit out of the shooter until they're, like, covered in blood, and then drag them to the police car to arrest them. That's typically procedure, by the way. If the shooter, they get in as many licks as they can on a mass shooter. Like, for example, the guy who shot up the Christchurch, that dude was just gushed in blood in his mugshot photos. The cops fucked that guy up. They did not take his surrender, they did not accept his surrender for, like, maybe 30 seconds, I think. They kicked his ass. So yeah, you will get, like, a massive ass beating if you don't just shoot yourself in these situations. So a lot of them opt for just shooting themselves because they're just going to get a severe ass beating and then prison, where they're probably going to get more severe ass beatings. Some cops supported him, New Zealander here. The cops who arrived at the scene did not support him, I assure you. They beat the shit out of him. If I could get away with showing it on YouTube without getting copyrighted or community guidelines striked for gore, I would show you what the dude's face looked like in his mugshot. He's covered in blood in his mugshot, and it's his blood. It's clearly his blood. A student called Marwa told TV4, a guy next to me was shot in the shoulder. He was bleeding a lot. When I looked behind me, I saw 3 people on the floor bleeding. Everyone was shocked, they said. Get out. Go out, get out. I took my friend's shawl and tied it tightly around his shoulder so that he wouldn't bleed so much. Helen Worm, 35, told the Expressen newspaper, quote, those were the worst hours of my life. I did not know if I would get shot there and then or in 10 minutes. You simply waited. Maria Pagado, 54, a teacher at the school, said someone threw open the door to her classroom just after a lunch break and shouted to everyone to get out. She and her students then ran out of the school to safety. 6 victims remained at Orebro University Hospital on Wednesday, with 5 having undergone surgery for their gunshot wounds. 3 women and 2 men were in a stable but serious condition, while another woman was being treated for minor injuries, health officials claimed. Oh my god, my nose. Police are yet to establish a motive for the shooting and said that there were no immediate signs of any ideological motivation. Ah, yes, of course. A picture of the gunman is, however, beginning to emerge, with Aftenbladet, I don't know what that is, reporting that Anderson had moved out of his parents' home in his early 20s. Relatives told reporters he did not have a job and was a loner. A classmate who knew Anderson as Jonas was from around age 10 described him as, quote, scary and, quote, someone that you wouldn't want to meet again, unquote. The classmate added that the suspect was probably not well mentally. They said he didn't talk to people. He always had his mouth closed with his hand. Damn, okay, that's definitely weird. Another classmate said he would sit with his face covered by his hoodie. Aftenbladet also reported that the suspect had a license for several weapons and he was not known to police before the attack. Lars Wieren, area police chief, said the suspect was obviously motivated and had access to firearms. I'm glad the police chief was like, yeah, he was obviously politically motivated. Risbergska school has up to 2,000 students who are over the age of 20. It offers high school classes as well as Swedish classes for immigrants and programs for people with learning disabilities, as we know. Spela Majerik, a student enrolled in the SFI, Swedish for Foreigners course, said that the school had no security. Quote, this was a very vulnerable school, with a large fraction of students being women. This could probably have been avoided. That's literally what I said, dude. I'm glad I wasn't tone deaf to say that, but yeah, even some of the victims there were like, dude, this place needed some security. You can't have a school where they're teaching immigrants Swedish and giving, like, classes to people with learning disabilities and not guard it, okay? Like, dude, this could have been avoided. Miss Majerik said, adding that she had been due to attend language classes on Tuesday, but was a few minutes late as her partner took her for lunch. Quote, this is an amazing school with amazing teachers who do everything for us, she said. Quote, when someone attacks and kills so many people, the feeling is indescribably painful. Those who survived will have to go forward in life, which is both a curse and a blessing. Quote, I think many people are angry, including me. Many people are scared, including me, and it's almost unthinkable for me to be able to go back and even enter the school's premises because of the terrible things that have happened there. Police raided the suspect's apartment on Wednesday before his name was released by Swedish media. Daniel Soleimani, who lives below Anderson's flat, said that his girlfriend called him while he was out, her voice shaking, saying police were banging on their door. He contacted the police, who confirmed officers were at the premises and advised him not to enter the building. He said, quote, I could never believe I had this guy possibly living a few meters above me all that time. It's quite scary and daunting. Quote, I would never expect something like this to happen, or this kind of person living here, and I have been living here for 8 years. Sweden's King Carl the 14th, Gustav, and Queen Sylvia, visited the school and will attend a memorial service on Wednesday. I forgot Sweden has like a royal family. That's kind of crazy. Quote, a grieving process is hard to do alone, the monarch told reporters after laying white flowers at a memorial site near the school. He added, quote, I think all of Sweden feels it has experienced this traumatic event. Ulf Kristersson, Sweden's prime minister, joined the royal couple on their trip to Örebro, a city of more than 100,000 people, approximately 125 miles west of Stockholm. The royal court announced that flags would fly at half-mast at all royal palaces, with government offices and parliament also planning similar measures. While school attacks are rare in Sweden, the country has experienced several violent incidents in recent years, including 2 knife attacks at schools in 2022. The nation has also been grappling with gang-related shootings and bombings that have claimed dozens of lives. Residents gathered near the school on Wednesday to leave flowers for the victims. Quote, those who were killed on Tuesday had dreams of becoming doctors, nurses, engineers, electricians, or plumbers, but now they can't, sadly, said Shamsul Kumar Andesh, a former student at the school. He added, it makes me very, very sad, or it makes me feel very bad and very sad. I never imagined something like this could happen in our city or at our school. Yuri Baptista, a Brazilian PhD student at Örebro University, was among those lighting candles in memory of those who died. He said, quote, those who were in this attack are the students like me, so I care. It feels like the attack is about me as well. It's a personal attack in some sense. Quote, it could be me, especially if it was a hate attack. This should have a large meaning. Mr. Baptista said that he was a bit disappointed that the police were slow to establish a motive and believed the attack may have been politically motivated. Of course it was. Of course it was. He added, quote, I understand that the police have to do the investigation, but it's very upsetting that it takes so long to know who did it and if there was any motivation behind it because it just makes people wonder. Man, very depressing stuff coming out of Sweden right now. The largest mass shooting in the country's entire history. And it happened just a couple days ago. And was committed by, of course, an incel Nazi. Whose jawline is basically a... Like, there is... Like, you can't tell where his jaw... Can we just, like, talk about this right now? Because I get to make these insults because I've got, like, a jawline that can cut glass. Bro... Oh, wait, wrong thing here. Bro's neck and jaw don't have a boundary. You know what I mean? Like, there's barely, if any, boundary where his jaw and neck start. And for reference, this is mine. Like, just to show you what the non-mass shooter jawline looks like. Usually the neck, like, does a little woo, you know? Like, if I trace this with my finger, you can see, you know, there's a bit of a shape to it. I feel a lot better about my jawline. Thank you, Zan. Based. He has a very punchable face, yes. If he hadn't shot himself, I'm sure they would have punched the absolute shit out of it as soon as they got their hands on him. And I wish they had. It would have been really funny to see a mugshot of him with him looking like Jesse after he hits that rock on his eye in the first episode of Breaking Bad. Just all fucked up. Anyway, massive tragedy, but hopefully I was able to provide whatever level of levity to the situation I could while also informing you if you weren't aware. It's a rough situation. It's hard to find ways to make it entertaining or, God forbid, funny, but I feel like at the expense of the awful piece of shit who committed the shooting, I was able to do a pretty decent job at that. If you enjoyed the segment, if you found it entertaining or educational, then please consider leaving a like. Every single thumbs up and every single comment and subscription goes a long way to boost the channel and the algorithm. Thank you for the subs, the rung bell icons. It means a lot. It really does. And of course, follow my social medias, linked down below if you want to see more from me in the future as well. And if you want to support me directly, you can afford it, and you feel like it, of course, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, Patreon, or perhaps even buy some merch through the Xander Hall Streamlabs link down below in the description. Regardless of how you support me, though, Thank you guys so much for watching, as always, and I hope you have a good one.